Hey, it's Kevin. Thank you so much for coming by for another No BS social media chat. If there is one theme, one recurring theme, one topic that has never ceased, has never lessened, has never become more important, it's the number one topic when it comes to social media that I've been dealing with, 12, 15 years professionally, that I've been dealing with in these videos for the last 5 years, and that's about growth. That's about not growing fast enough. Had a meeting last week with a client that we ended up walking away from because at this point I was like, I can only tell you so many times you're too focused on growing too fast and you're not worried on the important stuff. And it is about growing fast. I coined the term years ago, and I'm not even sure if I was the original one to coin it. I've been saying it for so long now, that social media growth is a marathon and not a sprint. I've got a buddy who's a marathon runner. I don't get it. I don't understand it. I don't like running. Look at me. Can you tell? But the one thing he told me about marathon running is that each marathon, even though it's over the course of 25.6 miles, it is a bunch of different races in between, and it depends on the course. So sometimes you may have a 2 or 3 mile part of the segment, and then you may have a mile, and then you may have another 3 or 4 miles, but it's a series of long sprints, if you will. You have to pace yourself. And I think that's a good analogy when it comes to social media, because everybody wants to grow fast, and I understand that. You have to be prepared to grow fast. But in reality, if you grow fast, you won't necessarily keep those people around for a long period of time because it's not real. It's not, I don't want to say organic growth, and people talk about Facebook all the time and organic growth, not paying for growth. And that's not what this is about. Everybody wants these big, huge numbers. They want a huge number of YouTube video views. They want huge Facebook fan numbers. They want huge follower numbers on Instagram and on Twitter. And I get it. We're all chasing those numbers. But we need to be chasing, and I've talked about this many times before, engagement, the likes, the comments, and all those kind of things, just as much as we need to be chasing the amount of people following us. You can do more with 500 people who will go to death for you than you can 500 people who just don't care. They just want to have you on a tally. They just want to have you in a list. So you can have 10,000 people on a list, but if only 500 of them really care, you really only have an active, effective group of 500 people. So the big number, while it's impressive, it's an ego number. It's not the important number. The important number is how many of those fans, followers, and friends will do whatever you need them to do, will follow whatever you want them to follow, will hang on every word, every picture, every video you post, and will share them with their followers who may not be fans of yours. See, and that's where it's a marathon and not a sprint. And there is no one trajectory. Every time somebody says, well, what can I do to grow my Facebook following faster? I wish I had the answer. There is no one set answer for anybody. It's unique and different for everybody. We're all running our own individual marathons. And while it may be easier for you to grow on Instagram, you may have a tougher time on YouTube and all those kind of things. So it's a very delicate balance. It's a very delicate dance about growth. I see so many people I encounter, especially in the music business, faking their growth, paying for fake growth so they have big, huge numbers. But in the span of about a week, I can tell you if those numbers are real or fake. And sometimes even a day or two, I can tell you just by the patterns of growth or the lack thereof. Again, when you're doing this day in, day out, when you've been doing social media data for 12, 15 years, you can spot trends. You can see when things don't add up and they don't make sense. So it's not about busting people on it, but it's about knowing what's real and what's not. Too many people are worried about the fake. Too many people are worried about faking it before you make it rather than the real. The one thing we've always tried to talk about and why we have the whole no BS philosophy is because we want you to grow, we want you to build, but we want you to understand it takes time, it takes patience. And again, it's always okay to never be patient enough, to never want to spend too much time. We're all that way. You don't ever have to be satisfied. You just have to understand that sometimes that power is out of your hands, power is out of your control. And the best way I can explain it has always been it's a marathon and not a sprint. The one message I have said in every meeting I've ever had about social media, I've thrown that out there. It's a marathon, not a sprint. Some people listen. They don't like it, but they listen. And some people don't even hear it. They don't even care because they won't accept it. The faster you accept that it's going to take time, that there needs to be strategy, that needs to be planning, the more successful you're going to be in the long run. If you're only in this for the short term, you're going to fail every time. Back next week, another No BS social media chat. NoBSSocial.com, the website. We also have them on our YouTube page, on our Facebook page. Again, if you found us this week, Facebook, YouTube, on the website, come on back. We'll be here again next week with another video. If, you want to share with a friend, that's okay too. I won't mind. And if you want to reach out to me, my phone number, my email address, they're coming up here at the end of the video. I'm glad and willing and more than happy to connect with you and whatever you want to talk about for free. And that's where we get started. give me a shout. See you next week, another No BS social media chat. Thanks.